be with us today to discuss and granting us this opportunity. I would say I'm excited. So on behalf of my team at the Chronicles of a Professional, we want to thank you very much for making our time to be here. We appreciate that.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. So I would like to start by letting you introduce yourself to my subscribers and my viewers listening.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Nwakaego Aja. I'm from Mgbowo, local government area of Enugu State. I'm an educationist. I'm a social worker, and I would say I'm a teacher. I think that's the bottom line of the whole thing. I'm a teacher, a professional teacher.
Okay, so I did a little research about you and all what you've done. It's actually very inspiring, and I know there are a lot more than this, but the little research I did, you were education secretary of the local government.
Yes.
Past, and at present, you are a permanent member 3 with Enugu State Universal Basic Education Board.
Yes.
I mean, there are a lot of things that you have done for our community. Just spending a few minutes here with you, I've seen a lot of people come in, go out. You've mentored a lot of them, you've been supporting women, and you've been a source of inspiration to a lot of people. I mean, I would like to know, how did your, growing up influence all this success that you've achieved?
Well, I started from a humble beginning. I'm the 5th child of a family of 6 siblings, and I'm the 3rd of the last of the girls. We are 3 boys, 3 men now, 3 women. And I'm the second to the last in the family, for the last of the girls. And then my father was a civil servant. He retired as a civil servant. My mother was a teacher. Okay, so
I see the connection there.
yes, my mother was a teacher. So, and they don't compromise with excellence, especially my mother. Any demand you make, she must align it with your performance in school and then your activities in the church. Growing up, she always wanted us to be in the church. We are worshiping then at St. Martin's Catholic Church, and it's still there. And then we all knew that she always wants us in church early, and she wanted to be in one society, or choir, one group or the other. So for you to get something from my mother, you must come to church early. So even if we are late, we are at the back of the church or we are outside. During offering, we make sure we go through where she's seated for her to see you. And even if you pass there and go home, that's the most important is that she has seen you for the day. And anything you want for that week, she will do it for you. So she's always pushing us towards godliness, pushing us towards going to church. She believes so much in hard work. She believes so much in results. Yeah. So she's always result oriented. Wow. So all of us, as we are, training us, we are all professionals from the first to the last child. She has a doctor, she has an engineer, she has a teacher, she has a musician, she has a computer scientist. So she made sure all of us excelled in our various endeavors. So that's the kind of person. My father also was also there for us all the time. He will always ask you, in fact, up to the pen you use in school, you must give account of how the pen got finished before you'll be handed over another pen to write in school. So for you, because you know he's going to ask you of a pen before you get another one, even if you misplace it, you will go and get an empty pen to present for you to get another pen. That was how strict they were growing up. So that's the humble beginning I came from. Not too rich family, it's an average family, civil servant and a teacher. So that's the nurture that I had.
Wow, excellent. I think this is quite inspirational. There is that strong connection, very strong parenting, instilling the required discipline and everything. Today, it has translated to all the things that we see. That's good. So, in our society today, a lot of younger ones don't believe in hard work. Like everybody believes, you just have to make the money quick, you just have to do this. And you have just taken me through a process that you went through, the nurturing from your parents, all the discipline that they instilled, and walking through the ladder to where you are today. I mean, it's becoming a problem in our society. What message do you have for these younger ones who are thinking that way? Looking at, your humble beginning and where you are today, what message do you have for them?
Well, I think the bulk of the thing starts from the family. Okay? It's the nurture that matters. And then the values, the societal values that we have. And families are meant to have value because it's the smallest unit of the society. Absolutely. Because it's what you have in the family that you garbage out. Okay? So when we have, we should have even the church, the school, the communities working hand in hand to bring up a child. Okay? That's why even in schooling, we always know that the education of a child stands on a tripod. The school, the home, and the child. Okay? So that's why the home will need to be careful of the kind of home we allow. In the sense that it starts from from the time of marriage. Okay? It starts from when you marry the right person, you can be sure you will build a good family and you will nurture the children that you bring out of the society, right? Okay? It starts from that end. So we have gotten it all wrong at the time in the sense that we lost focus of our values, even as Africans. And the value is that then, before you get married, people go to ask of the families where you allow your children get into. And even the little good, the little ones, the little people who have that has value in their families, they lost it because they follow the trend, the societal trend of anything goes. So the little ones, the little good ones, we lost them. But if we had followed that trend of, look, this is Mrs. Amadi, Mr. Amadi, or Okechukwu, my child wants to get married, what kind of person are they? And then if those things, we follow those things to later, we are still practicing some of those things, some families will adjust themselves because they will know that when they want to give out their child in marriage, the questions will be asked. If their sons want to marry somebody, those other families are going to ask questions. It will be guiding us in some of our activities and things we engage in. But anything goes now. That's why the family system is already going down. It's no longer the way we were nurtured as Africans. No longer the way we are brought up. We lost a lot of things to westernization. It's not everything Western that we should imbibe. We should look at the poignancy of culture. That doesn't serve us well, we have to take it away and pick that is serving us well. So I believe it starts from the family. When the family has value, when they have culture, okay, they will instill it in their children, and those children, they will grow up with it, and they were better for it. Because I know when I was growing up, I know the importance my parents attached to hard work, the importance they attached to honesty, the importance they attach to godliness, integrity. So these are guiding principles. And see, even the Bible says it train up a child the way it wants the child to go. When the child goes, the child will not depart from it. Any way you nurture your child is garbage in, garbage out. It's what the child sees in the family. It's what the child has as a value that the child grows up with. It's difficult to change when you're coming from a very good background. Sometimes they change, but it's not for long because that is innate, is already instilled in them. So nurture is it. Though there are nature, but I know that nurture is more of what we bring out as our character outside, your attitude and then your character. I think that's where, and then that's where the challenge is.
You nailed it. I think I learned something here, that the personality of a child is a product of nature and nurture. And most often, nurturing overrides nature. So it's very key.
Yes.
And the nucleus to all of these things is the family, which is very, very critical.
Correct.
Wow. I was enjoying the whole thing. So thank you very much for that. So the other piece I wanted to look at is, your position at the Enugu State Universal Basic Education Board is at the management level.
Yes.
And I am very proud of you. I would have to tell you that. So, what are those innovative contributions, or do you want to share some of the things that you've done, where you guys are at, the contribution, and some of the things that would be nice for people to know about?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Number one, we have a role model in the governor, His Excellency Governor Barrister Peter Ndubisimba. Okay, he started out from his campaign by saying that, by stating out the importance of education, stating out what he's going to do if he assumes office in area of education and health and agriculture. And it wasn't a political statement. Why I said that is that as soon as he assumed office, he started immediately. And he had over 260 smart schools in all the political wards. Okay. And we have active smart school right now at Awgu. We have our children there. So what we are doing is we are aligning with that, okay, because you asked of the innovation. We are aligning in that. This is his vision that we are bringing to manifestation, all that he planned to do. So we align our visions, our innovations, our dreams to his vision, okay? So this is the mission that we are accomplishing. But before he started, he had a baseline. There was a baseline assessment to look at what we have already in the States, after which he discovered from the assessment that we had reading crisis. And it's not just in Enugu. It's all over, even in the whole country. Okay? Because I don't know. So based on that, the moment I assumed office as member 3, we had our functions shared out. So I'm overseeing school services, which is about teaching and learning. Okay? So I started thinking of how to better what we are doing to be able to address those challenges, the gap that was discovered in the course of the baseline. Okay. Now I came up with Readers Club. Okay. That Readers Club, we have our children in the senior basic, okay, upper primary, form those clubs. We have club sponsors. It's established in all the schools right now as I speak. And what they do is that we look at the novels, the storybooks that we'll hand over to those teachers, and those storybooks are the ones that teach moral lessons, okay, and other civic lessons that we want them to learn. So what they do is that during the club time, they sit and they look at some of those stories, and they bring out vocabulary, new words, spellings. Okay, at the assembly ground, they ask them to come to tell some of the stories, talk about the new words, make sentences with it. So another thing we did is we encourage them in each lesson to have at least 5 minutes to reading in each lesson, even if it's the math, to have a 5-minute reading. Okay, that will help them to build that reading culture. In all the schools in Enugu State, yes, that's what we have done. And then again, there are trainings from UNILAG, which we also align here in the States. So what I did was, we have school support officers. They go around, at the state level where we have the board. At the local government level, we have education authority. Okay, you asked that I'm coming from there. Yes, I was a former education secretary of the local government. Before then, I was a member of Federal Government Public Works Committee, okay, before the Education Secretary office. Now, what the education secretaries do, they are the ones in charge of the schools at each local government, just as we have here in the state at the board level. So we encourage the SSOs are the ones that goes to the school. They are the eye of the education secretary in each school. So they have schools they are assigned to monitor, to mentor the teachers, okay, where they're having challenges. Now they report back to the education secretary. They have report sharing with the local government chairman and the supervisor of education and the local government, and also they share to us. So that with this report sharing, actions can be taken and we make informed decision and policies, okay, where these things are active. So what I did, the innovation here, aside the club, here is that the SSOs, I brought them up, we had a meeting, and we had a dashboard of all the, that's what you have in my office over there, the dashboard of all the local government, the education authority, the development centers. So whichever training, we have a caller for each, I have a caller for each training. So what we do is that each training, the school support officer and the SSIT, school state improvement team that functions in a particular local government will come to the board. The cascade, we have a cascade, okay, to be sure that these things are, the share, the information are disseminated around to the last school in the local government. So you stick out wherever the trainings you've had in your local government, you stick it out. Okay, these are the innovations in our professional development. Okay, so this is the second one. Another one is I was able to create performance team on the board. Okay, and what this performance team, their task is to ensure we reduce the number of out-of-school pupils, where will help our children that are struggling. So how do I do this? I wrote usually, it's not a singular decision. When I come up with some of those innovations, I write to the chairman, who bring it about the board level, we'll discuss it. After discussing it, we can approve, also bring them in the management and tell them this is what the policy, this is what we are doing. So when they find it worthy of implementing, they implement it. So that was what happened. I brought up the idea, I wrote the memo to the chairman, it was approved, and then we started the team because I already narrated what I want to do with it. Now, what the performance team, what their task is, they are about 10 of them, okay? So we share them to each local government. You man one or two local governments, okay? So what they do is that after assessments, the teachers send the results of the pupils through their head teachers. These are my initiatives. Sent to the head teachers. They now have it on a spreadsheet on Excel. You see the results of every child. Okay? So what they do with it is that the local government you are assigned to, the results of the pupils from that local government, once it's sent to you, you look at it from your computer. You check the performance of the pupils. We're not expecting to solve the problem of every child in the state, but at least that's a helpline. We want to use it to help the children that are struggling, because we notice that when you leave them on their own, they continue struggling. Before you know it, they drop out of school. They become recalcitrant. At the time, you can no longer control them. When they grow out, and most of them, when they're able to touch the bike, they are moving that's it. You will lose them. They follow the other gang. But we are using this performance team to channel them well. So when I assumed office, I noticed under school services that we had guidance and counseling that we are redundant. Okay, so I started thinking of how I can make that office viable. I can make that office active. I think that's the right word. So what I did was this performance team, I had the head of the unit of guidance and counseling as the head of that committee. So what they do is that when they collect these results, the name, I already gave them a template. They have the name of the teachers, the school, the phone number, the local government, Okay? Then the name of the para counselor in the local government and in the school, because every school has para counselors. So what they do when they get this result, if you look at the trend, the results of the children, you see a child that has been absent in school, or a child that has issues in a particular subject. What they do is that they bring out those names, the teacher's phone number, they call the teacher. Okay? We started by calling directly. At the time, we started channeling through the counselor at the local government level to call the para-counselor in the school. So what I have done with it is that when I started initially, I did the call myself. In fact, the first person I called the name of the child, Chinonso, in a remote school at Osoka. They were like,
what's going on? How did they?
Yeah, you know, the teacher said it was 419.
Honestly.
When I introduced myself, when she picked the phone, I am so and so person, the board member. She said, this is 419. No, she turned off the phone. Okay, I called again. She visited her phone. Okay, not until I called the education secretary. That called, at least that is familiar with, that called, you say, oh, it's true.
That has never happened before.
Yeah.
It's more like first of its kind.
Exactly. You know? So the moment I called again after the introduction, she was, madam, good afternoon. She was so excited that I called. So that was a pilot. That was just to test what we are about doing, then for them to follow it up. So when they called, the teacher will narrate the challenge. We are going to tell the teacher what we have seen in the result. The teacher will tell you about that child.
Feeling the pulse directly.
Exactly. So by so doing, I told you initially that the education of a child stands on that tripod of a child, the school, and the home. Now, when we have two standing, we can have an average child. When the three are firing on, the child will get an excellent. When the child is willing, the home is supportive, and you have a good school and a good teacher, because there are teachers that make that good school. Okay? You have the good school. Then the child will excel. But then you will see a child that wants to belong, then you will see a bad teacher, a bad school, and then a bad home. Okay? Now, we found out that most of our pupils rely so much on the school, because some of them are from illiterate parents, from the rural areas. So the school has a lot to do. They're going to be standing in as a home and as a school. So that is that helpline. The helpline is that when we'll call, we'll get the teacher to tell us about the child. Yeah. Then we'll now analyze and know if the problem is from the school or the home or from the child, so that we'll know where the helpline will come from. So by the performance indicator here is at the end of every term, how many child, by the time we check the results again, we're able to help through this performance team. That will tell us that if we are doing well or not. If we're not expecting to do all at the same time, but at least. So you see, we are using that to check out of school pupils. We're using that to fill the pause. And then we are using that to also check the activities of the teachers. Because by so doing, you know that you're being monitoring what you're doing. Okay? Now, in the course of that, we found out that some of our pupils leave school during farming season with their parents to where they farm. They take them out for farming. So when we call, they will tell you that during farming period, that this child was out of school with the parents. So I also raised a memo to my chairman based on the findings that they will have migrant farmer schools in some farming communities. Okay? If we can allow these children, when they go back to the farmland with their parents, any migrant farmer school there, they can enroll. And then we can also, their performance there, we can also evaluate them.
Education to their doorstep.
Yes. Yes, wherever they are. We can also evaluate them based on those performance in their school when they return from farming.
I think I will give you all the kudos, to be honest, because I can actually connect to what you're doing. You're leveraging data, reporting, pretty much analytics.
Yes.
We call it business intelligence, to be able to understand where the gaps are.
Correct.
No matter how remote the school will be, and then when you get that information, you analyze it, look at the gaps, and prefer solution to solving it.
Correct.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I think I like that.
Yes.
So it's as if you and His Excellency, you're in line with the innovative approach to solving educational problems.
Yes.
On one hand is the smart school.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've seen the Owo smart school.
Green school.
I think
yes.
it's okay. Smart green school.
Yeah,
It's actually
because,
fantastic. To be honest,
yeah.
I like that, and I think I also want to thank you for the one that we have in our community in Asia and there.
Yeah.
Excellent. So if by the time we finish that, it will definitely transform how we view education in Enugu State, to be honest. So on one hand, the infrastructural side is being transformed. On one hand, you are doing this fantastic work, because when you get down to the child, you're like, oh, these people are thinking about me.
Sure.
And then you get that piece, you get the family piece, you have a better citizens in the future. And that is the bedrock of building a society.
Yeah,
So I want to say congratulations for this great work. It's very powerful, and I like the approach. Very, very innovative. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So as we try to wrap up now, there are some, in the Chronicles of a Professional, we'll have some, I would say, personal questions.
Okay.
It's more like a game.
Yeah.
I will get to that. But just before I get to that, are there other things that you want to quickly share that I haven't asked you?
The smart school His Excellency is building, it's the best of its kind. Okay? And
I think I would agree with that.
yes.
To be honest.
Have you been yes, smart school.
Yeah, I've seen the video, and my friend has also visited.
Yes.
I haven't seen that.
They are taught
Nigeria.
mechatronics. They have the media aspect of it, the filming. They have the robotics. Okay. Then they have a farm. Okay. So they teach them climate preservation. They teach them how to, technology innovation into teaching, into learning. Okay.
That's why they say tomorrow is here.
Yes.
The mantra.
So what that mantra is, what you are shifting for tomorrow, we can actually have it immediately here.
Yeah.
That bureaucracy, tomorrow, no. He said it can be done immediately, here and right now. And that's what he has done. If you look at how he has opened the doors for investors, once you have something very positive for the state, he opens the door for you to come in. Okay. So that's not, this bureaucracy and waiting and then, no, it's no longer here. We are doing everything right here and now. Okay. So even the Green Smart School, the farming, they have 1 meal a day, the healthy one. So they are expected what they have in the farm to farm, and then they supply from the farm. The children see how it's grown. It's hands-on. They practice. Okay. It's no longer, we are away from regurgitation. Okay. Parroting your teachers. So want them to practice it, to understand whatever they are learning. No longer, those days when you recite the national anthem, even because you don't understand it, sometimes we mumble the words growing up those days. But now, this is an example of what His Excellency is doing in the state. We're away from regurgitation to mastering. So for them to understand what they are being taught, to put it into practice. And we are very serious about the SDG goals. So what I have, that's the innovation I didn't bring up, the 17 SDG goals. We encourage our teachers, in any topic you're teaching, look at the SDG goals and look at the one is aligning to what is addressing, so that the children will understand that this is the goal, that you are being taught this for you to achieve this, to implement it on this. Okay? It's now to solve skill, to acquire skill, to be able to compete in the global market. Yes, exactly. So they want them to be able to compete with the other children, okay, in workplace, for them to apply those things they are learning. Those days we have our technical school where and now he wants, even from the ECCD class as they are growing up, they should understand what they are being taught. They should be able to practice it and be able to contribute at that level as they are growing up. So that is innovation that is so wow. It's
I can't wait
very
to see it.
very impressive.
I know is live,
Yes.
and the other 260 words
Yes.
they're in progress.
Yes.
So I personally saw the construction myself.
Yes.
So I witnessed.
And when you look at those things, you will see we missed a lot growing up.
Honestly.
We missed a lot growing up. We wish we had a governor like this growing up. I mean,
yeah.
okay, so these are the beautiful things happening in Enugu State and in basic education in Enugu State. Kudos to His Excellency. Yeah.
So, as we wrap up, there are some personal questions that we ask. So the first question here is,
what is your best Nigerian food?
Best Nigerian food. Huh. Yeah.
Okay. So
it is fried, boiled, porridge,
okay. That's good to know. The next question is, who is your role model?
Yeah, my role model is Nwakaego.
Wow.
Ngozi.
That's
Excellency.
That's very good.
Yes, that's my role model.
Good. Okay, so which country would you like to visit next outside Nigeria?
Yeah.
For leisure, like holiday country that you would like to visit.
I would like to visit Rwanda. I've heard a lot about Rwanda.
Oh,
Yes.
I like Rwanda too.
Yes, I've heard a lot of. I've been in the US. I've lived and worked in LA. Okay, so yes, I've lived in Los Angeles. So it's the art of it. I've been to Israel. I've been to Addis Ababa. I've been to Ireland. I've been to Ghana. In fact, I'm an alumni of Kofi Anan Institute in Ghana.
Wow.
Peace and Conflict Institute. So I think Rwanda, I want to see a lot of things
Honestly,
there.
I've also heard a lot doing the Kigali.
Kigali, yes, yes.
That is one of the neatest cities in
Yes,
Africa.
yes. If you ask me another one, I would say Qatar. I have
Qatar,
Qatar,
okay.
yes, I have Qatar. So I know I've had beautiful things about there too. So Rwanda is on a business mission, okay, but the other one is for relaxation.
Okay, and the final question.
Okay.
If you have the power to change one thing on earth, what would that be?
Perception of women. Yeah, perception of women. Because women contribute, women is at least half of the population are women. Okay? But and see, before you talk about development, you talk about peace. You can't do away with women. Without women, if you don't include them in what your plans and what you're doing, it will be a vicious cycle. We'll keep having problems. Do you understand? Because they are part of this critical. They are part of the society. Even a lot of protocols. Exactly. A lot of protocols, conventions. When I say women, I say women participating in things that we are doing, in decision making, in positions. Okay? Because it's not just women political participation. Yeah, you can participate without being in a position to make decisions. Okay? So participation and being in position of authority, they are two different things. Because you can participate and make contributions, but the leader finalizes it and brings out the opinion of everybody and takes the final decision.
On this note, I would like to thank you so much for this opportunity. And I'm sure in the future, we'll have this opportunity again to connect. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome.